Rosy Hardy gardening here, sitting in what was the beautiful summer garden that we created here in North Hampshire at Hardy's. And in these next couple of videos, I'm going to be explaining all about the planting and how the combinations work. When putting plants together, you have to look at all sorts of different things. On this beautiful garden that we set up for the Festival of Flowers, I'm going to start on this corner where we have the wonderful spikes of Veronica gentianoides Tissington white, and then next to it the soft lemon orangey yellow of the Geum Lisanne. Now just look at the beautiful calyxes on the back of this plant, that lovely bronzy orange, and that is going down into the stems as well. And the heads then lift up and you see the lovely faces of those round geum flowers. Now this is all to do with the fact that you've got these contrasts in flowers. So not only has the geum got lovely leaf flow down, flowers come up and are held on the above, you've got this contrast of the bronze, but they are rounded. And then you go into the Veronica, and the Veronica is an upright spike with round flowers facing you. Beautiful dark blue stamens on that Veronica. Veronica Tissington white is one that we introduced and was in Rob's grandfather's garden for years and years and years. Such a beautiful plant. Now looking into the back, you've got this fabulous big blousy flower of the Centaurea, and this is Centaurea Joyce. Now her foliage is a little bit grey to start off with, and then you get these lovely big heads above, and then just wafting into the picture is this Elaeagnus Quicksilver. That is a fabulous shrub with beautiful scented flowers early on in the spring. This is late spring, early summer here in the UK, and the idea of the display is to give you those plants that will grow together, give you flower, but also give you a change in shape. So you've got the iris leaves there, and they're just giving you some spike and contrast against the leaves of the other plants which are in this combination. Now all of these would be quite happy in the garden together in a reasonable soil, in somewhere that is got sun to part shade. They don't want to be in full sun all the time, and you're talking about a soil that will maintain a little bit of moisture. And then coming up and looking a little bit further across the border, you've got the Allium heads there just sparkling, and the Geum there is a red one, that is Red Wings, and the Anchusa, these tall spikes of bright blue, and it all just fits in together with the soft grey just helping all the other colours show themselves off and look really, really great. We will move on through the borders and carry on looking at the different types of planting that I've put together. You come through here to grasses, and this is Miscanthus Cosmopolitan. Beautiful grass which is going to get much taller than this, but this time of the year this is its height, and mixed with it are Cirsium rivulare Atropurpureum with its beautiful thistle heads with those lovely purple, just as though they are floating above the grass, but they do actually have a base to them, and their base is a green foliage which is quite low down. They make lovely big clumps. They will be very happy in the same conditions as the Miscanthus, and you know, you just would have lovely big clumps together. The Miscanthus will gradually grow up further, but when you look at it straight on and you don't see the base of the Cirsium, it's almost as though that grass is producing those flowers. It's a mirage, you know, and that's what you're creating. You're creating these wonderful little colonies and clumps. You've got white digitalis in the background and the beautiful orange of the Trolleus, and then just down there is something that looks like a Knautia, and it is, that's Knautia dipsacifolia with some epimediums, and they will grow nicely underneath the shrub. They want a bit more shade and keep themselves to themselves down in that sort of area. So we'd expect the Cirsium and the Miscanthus to want a little bit more of a moisture loving soil, but they're quite happy in the open so that they get the sun on their leaves, and those white stripes just draw your eye up through the plant, and in the cold weather they get this little purple tinge to them, and that goes with the Cirsium as well. And then to the side you have this amazing Corydalis elata. Now it's a wonderful one. It's much later season and it's much taller. Now I'm all about shape and form, but also you need perfume and you need low ground, you need higher, you need things to be coming through. So this combination here of the Phlox, the Aquilegia, the Angelica, the huge big leaves of that Rodgersia podophylla, and the wonderful hosta that is there, they all go well together. Now there's different colour in their leaf, there's different forms of leaf shape, so they all look different together. Rodgersia podophylla, those leaves are incredible. They start off really bronzy, and that bronze against the bronze on the Angelica stem, they then complement each other. The lime green of the foliage of the Phlox and the foliage of the hosta complement each other. The lime green of the flower of the actual Angelica, all of it goes together, but they're all different in their own way. Phlox divaricata, Cloud of Perfume, wants a shadier spot, a little bit of moisture, that's why it would grow well with the hostas. And Angelica, archangelica, once you've got it in the ground, it will then seed itself around and it will grow virtually anywhere. But it's a very stately, very architectural plant. And a lot of these things are architectural. You know, the hosta, the Rodgersia, yes, they do eventually flower, but you're growing them for their leaf because their leaves are absolutely fantastic and just give you that wonderful shape. And they blend in with the log as well. Now underneath these birch, there we go, there's the lovely heads of the Angelica, beautiful white digitalis, purpurea albifloriform, and they are great. That just gives you that spikiness and it's breaking up, and then the soft fluffiness of that scented Phlox just down below. All of these would be happy in gentle shade, little bit shade, maybe a little bit of moisture, and really, really just great plants. Now, the hosta here is Purple Heart, and it has got the most amazing dark stems and that dark purple heart to the leaf itself. Here you can see how that purple heart is showing up. Now if you just go to the Phlox next door to it, they've got little purple leaves in there, and that stem on the Angelica is just slightly purple. So they all tie in, those colours just float through. And then underneath the look at those leaves, aren't they beautiful on that Rodgersia? Just fantastic. These are its flower spikes just coming up. They're a creamy white colour when they're in full, and they go up, but very sparse. They never have a mass of flower, just sparse flower. Underneath them is a ground cover plant. That is Disporum. Just a variegated leaf, so variegation on a leaf just breaks up. You know, you've got quite a solid lump with that Rodgersia, but it's broken up with that lovely variegation of the Disporum underneath. And then you head over to the Polygonatum, and the Polygonatum with its white and green flowers hanging down underneath those wonderful leaves which go upwards is just a good contrast again. So it's all to do with that contrast. I hope you've enjoyed this little snapshot around the Festival of Gardening here at Hardy's Cottage Garden Plants. Late spring, summer planting. Now this was just the first part. Please do tune in for the second part, which we will be launching later. Thank you very much, and please do subscribe to the channel.